with his Sultai control deck against Ronnie Ritner playing Black-White Angels. Now, we saw Ritner a little bit earlier yesterday pick up his draw with his Black-White Angels deck. This deck looks pretty impressive. Thalia's Lancer, you've got Gisela, you've got Bruna to be able to meld together to make Brazella. For Ali Aintrazi, well, he loves big mana strategies, big mana spells, so he does have good old Emrakul in his deck. There's a lot going on here, as we saw in his match yesterday as well.
Yep. I would imagine that Ali has a slight edge in this kind of matchup. I think he plays a slightly longer game, has a more powerful top end, interacts with Ritner's top end a little bit more reliably. But it is a lot of the, not necessarily the same cards, but the same style, same strategy.
You can see the clock here, 18 minutes for these two players to finish game number 3. So plenty of time left here. They will have to pick up the pace a touch maybe, because things can get a little bit grindy, but should be able to finish this third game, as Ritner is going to take a mulligan. Previously, given my history playing Black-White Control, this is the kind of deck I was pretty happy to play against. Things are kind of grindy. You've got cards like Read the Bones. You've got good discard spells. You've got a lot of Planeswalkers, which plays a big role in things. But you had a lot of Planeswalkers like Gideon and Ob-Nixilis and Sorin. Less Planeswalkers here for Ronnie this weekend because he's playing more creatures.
And Ali's deck interacts with these creatures very reliably. He's got ultimate prices, languishes. He's not short on answers to random creatures, no matter what their powers look like.
Aintrazi still deciding he's going to keep his 7. He looks like he's going to take a mulligan. Ritner will take a look at 6. Looks like he's going to keep this one. We'll see. Aintrazi will take a look. It's 5 now for Ali.
And this is a raw card count sort of matchup.
Yes, it is.
A lot of stuff's going to be trading and colliding. It's going to be hard for one of these players to just knock the other one out with one random card, so these mulligans are excruciating.
This is where a card like Painful Truths or Read the Bones is great. Because you just need cards. Doesn't matter what they are.
I'm surprised that there aren't more copies of Painful Truths in Ali's 75. He's only got 1 in the sideboard. This seems like a Painful Truths kind of deck.
That's a little bit surprising to me, yeah. See, both players are going to start with some lands that enter the battlefield tapped. For Aintrazi, it was a Hissing Quagmire. For Ritner, it was a Forsaken Sanctuary. Now he's got a Swamp and a Transgress the Mind. So, we'll take a look at Aintrazi's hand. You see an Evolving Wilds, a Traverse the Uvenwald in the Forest. Can't take those cards, but you can take either Ruinous Path or Ob-Nixilis Reignited.
And Ob-Nixilis, really the only route in Ali's hand here to recoup the lost cards.
But a little ways away from that.
Yep.
There's the Evolving Wilds.
And if Ritner didn't take it and he took the Ruinous Path instead, I imagine Ritner's trying to land a Planeswalker of his own, and you can see in his hand right now that he has his own copy of Ob-Nixilis.
There's another Forsaken Sanctuary from Ritner. Aintrazi going to search up a swamp with his Evolving Wilds. There's another Evolving Wilds. Pass the turn back over to Ritner. Ritner will draw. There's a swamp. Kick it back. Now you think previously you're watching a Black-White deck. If they were to land a Gideon here, the game might just end on the spot.
Yep.
But those days are over.
Well, at least for now, no Gideons in this list. Had to make room for more creatures, and possible with the power of spirits in Eldritch Moon, people wanted to get away from Gideon for at least week 1. We've seen very few copies over the course of the tournament.
There is Jace Vryn's Prodigy, a forest from Aintrazi. He'll pass the turn back. Ritner does have a removal spell. Ultimate Price will take care of the Jace. Caves of Koilos, the draw. Here is the Caves. And now there's Ob-Nixilis. That'll come down. Ritner will draw a card. Pay a life to do so. So he falls down to 19. Picked up a copy of Liliana, the Last Hope. A land, and now an Ob-Nixilis here for Aintrazi. So he will pay a life to draw a card. Now keep in mind, in Aintrazi's hand, he does have a Dragon Lord Salumgar. Ritner will pay a life to draw a card.
Dragon Lord could be a huge swing here.
Oh, yeah. Aintrazi will pay a life to draw a card. Both players have Ob-Nixilis up to 7. There's a Sunken Hollow. This is Dragonlord Slumgar. Does Ritner have the removal spell for it? You see he's got Archangel Avacyn, but that doesn't help very much.
Players in the Legacy Classic, your pairings are available online at pairings.
Yep. He takes that, loses it. There's Archangel Avacyn. Draw a card. There's Liliana. Got a plus there, so that Archangel Avacyn can go after Ob Nixilis. Now, Dragonlord Slumgar will die. There's a Shambling and pass the turn back. Now, keep in mind, earlier in this game, Ritner could have taken that Ob Nixilis, not Ruinous Path.
It's really surprising to me. You know, I understand Ritner had his own copy of Ob Nixilis you want to clear the path for, but when your opponent's on 5 cards in a control mirror, I think you should err on the side of take away the card with the highest ceiling.
Yep.
Like, Ob Nixilis is a path for Aintrazi to crawl back in the game. If you play your Ob Nixilis and he untaps and Ruinous Paths it after you've drawn a card or killed something, like, okay, life goes on. Like, you're up a card and, you know, your opponent's still on 5 cards, and what's his path to crawl back in? Now Ritner is in a lot of trouble. Aintrazi is approaching an Ob Nixilis ultimate, and if Ritner can't clock him or put some significant pressure in some other way, that could just be the ball game.
Yeah. I'm sure the thought process was I'll draw another discard spell, or I'll draw a Ruinous Path or an Anguish Unmaking or something like that, but there's no guarantee of that.
Yeah. And in fact, Aintrazi's on 8 loyalty right now. He's got a handful of cards. He's not a handful, but he's at least drawn a few cards here. And Ritner's not really in a position to pressure him. How is he going to outrace an Ob Nixilis emblem? That seems very challenging.
Top couple cards go to the bin. Archangel Avacyn's going to go back to the grip thanks to Liliana's -2. There's a SCGCOL.
And now Aintrazi is going to have Delirium here for his Traverse, because now an artifact's going to the graveyard. Now if he makes an emblem of Planeswalkers in the graveyard, now Traverse is Demonic Tutor.
Yep. Close to it.
Aladomri's Call, whatever you want to call it.
Sure. Drew a copy of Ishkana. 6 mana. There's Dragonlord Slumgar again. Trust me when I say Dragonlord Slumgar is not the kind of card that Black-White likes to play against. Oh, this is the loop. The Dragonlord Slumgar loop is now taking place.
Legacy Classic players, your pairings are making their way to the pairings board.
Aintrazi, just going to pay life to draw a card. Keep Ob Nixilis around.
Once again, your pairings.
Yeah, if he can protect it for one more turn, then he can make an emblem and still keep Ob Nixilis in play.
There's Archangel Avacyn. Well, Anguish Unmaking has finally shown up. Might be a little too late now, though.
Yeah, I mean, Aintrazi's accrued a huge advantage here.
I think Ritner might actually have Sorin in hand. All right, this is kind of interesting.
But remember, he knows about the Traverse from the earlier Transgress, and Aintrazi is at Delirium, so literally anything can happen. This is Ali Aintrazi we're talking about.
That's true. There's no telling what's going to happen next. There's Sorin. Kill Dragonlord Slumgar. Avacyn's going to go somewhere. All right.
Got to be taxing Ob Nixilis.
Yeah. With Anguish Unmaking available.
Although keep in mind, Aintrazi can finish off the Sorin here. He can use Ob Nixilis to kill Avacyn, and then the Hissing Quagmire he has down can take care of Sorin if he wants to go that route.
Yep.
Round number 3 of 7. You have 50 minutes for this round. You may begin.
Dragonlord Slumgar. Stack it. Yep, with that effect on the stack, Anguish Unmaking. So now the effect doesn't resolve at all. Ritner's out of cards, loses some life to cast it, but the Dragonlord Slumgar issue is taken care of. Ob Nixilis is going to take care of Avacyn, but now it's Sorin versus Ob Nixilis. Plus, what's he find? A land, not what the doctor ordered. Does he have any Shambling Vents down there? Yeah, he does. Take care of Ob Nixilis. Make sure he doesn't have to do it at the cost of a life, which he's got plenty of mana to do, so play a Plains, pass the turn back.
Unfortunately, not a second copy, so now his Sorin is again exposed to the
The Quagmire.
The hissing Quagmire,
Yep.
correct.
The way Ali's counting mana would not make me feel easy. Counting mana and card types in the graveyard. Wonder what that's about.
Could be anything.
Evolving Wilds. Oh, he just has Emrakul. He's just gonna cast it.
All right. Well, that's our first this weekend.
Here it is, the promised end.
We had Ali on camera yesterday. He had some opportunities to cast Emrakul in what seemed like good spots. Passed them all up. Now we'll see how this goes.
All right, so Aintrazi is going to get Ritner's next turn. How nice, Grasp of Darkness.
All right. Well, I believe this will be turn on my Shambling Vent, -2 Sorin on it, then Grasp it.
Yeah, that all works.
Solid.
Yeah, he should just be empty after this.
Yeah. This should just get everything.
Yep. And now Grasp that. Yep.
Sweet. And I have a 13/13 left over here. Yep. It's all dead.
Yep.
Now you get your turn.
Ritner will draw here in just a moment. I hope he draws out Nixilus, because that's, Transgress, nice. Take a, it's, never mind, it's Gisela, which is worse than Emrakul.
Slightly outclassed.
Yeah, and was, taken over by Emrakul and everything else.
Yeah, so many good plot arcs.
Here's an Oath of Chase. Draw 3, discard 2. One of those cards is a Den Protector. I think this one might be a wrap.
Den Protector's got to be good enough here. A Ruinous Path, yeah. Whatever.
You see Ritner's already reaching for his Gisela, assuming it's going to die.
Maybe Stolen.
There's Nissa. Get a Forest.
Then after he's done spinning the basketball on his finger, then I think we're going to see the Ruinous Path.
Lumbering Falls will transform Nissa into the Sage Animist. Plus it, top card. I believe a Summary Dismissal. There's Ruinous Path. Now the beatdowns for 13. Ritner's down to 9. Is it Bruta? That is going to do it. Ali Aintrazi is going to win this match over Ronnie Ritner 2-1. Saltite Control will take care of Black White Angels. And for Aintrazi and his brew with Emrakul, 10-1.
I think Ritner took what I would describe as an unnecessary risk in that game.